are on the air.
Oh, let me find you on here, and then
Yes, we on the hill now. We don't moved on up. We on the hill now. Last time you came, you was on my personal page.
did you tag me in it?
Oh no, hold on.
Yeah, if you
'Cause It
tag
won't,
me in it,
it won't be letting me do that, but I'm gonna do it now.
just tag me in the comments.
I am. I'm gonna do it right now. Oh, hold on. Let me do that. Do at Kenny Matthews. There you are. I tagged you in the comments. And
Perfect. All right, let me see.
you found us.
Yes,
And uh,
bingo. There we go.
go Bingo Bingo Bingo. What's his name? All right, we are. What's that heat you say? We got action.
Got action.
We got action. Man, it's been a minute. So, everybody, hello, welcome to The Heal. My name is Letitia. I am your hostess with the mostest. I am the host of The Heal, also known as the Virtual Altar. But on tonight, we are doing a special segment that is near and dear to my heart. It is called Let's Talk You. And I have my friend and the homie, Kenny Matthews. Y'all gonna hear his voice on tonight. So, man, y'all gonna hear him. And we are going to talk it up. He's been doing some big things since the last time we spoke to him. He came through last year.
Last year in June.
In June, yes. You had just released Bad Day, Good God.
Yeah.
And it is a dope song, y'all. It's a dope song. I tell y'all, go get that too. Go get all of it. And so in the process of this year, he has released the full project, which he told us he was going to release when he came. So he has done it. And I tell you, Kenny, you put your foot in that project. Both of them.
Hopefully I put my brain in it.
You did too. You did all of that. I mean, if y'all are not following Kenny on any social media outlets, y'all need to be doing that, because he showed like the whole journey. I mean, you were going into the studio, you were just, I mean, listening to playbacks and, you know, doing the string hands. You know, I want to do that when I go to the studio. I want to make it seem like I'm doing something.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah.
He was actually doing something though, but he was really doing something. I would just be doing it for looks because.
Yeah, they had me working for real.
Yeah, you did the thing though.
Yeah, they made me get in there and actually work. And I think one of the things is I'm grateful that I've been exposed to different opportunities and worked with different producers. So when I got there for myself, I wasn't oblivious to what needed to be done, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like you were at home. Like you knew you were comfortable. You knew you were calling shots. Like you were sitting back, leaning back and listening. Like you knew exactly what you wanted. And you've always been a person though, in my years of following you, you've always been very intentional about your moves. Like,
yeah. But you know what had to happen, and I learned this that day. I was working with some of the greatest creatives that I personally know. And I mean, these guys, they play for everybody and they work with everybody. And the amount of money that was put into the record, I didn't have no choice but to be as serious as I was, because at that point, the investment was the biggest investment during the time. It was the biggest investment I had put into anything of my own. So it was one of those like, yo, ain't no sinking. You gotta swim.
You gotta swim. You got no choice. I mean, you had some heavy hitters on this, like behind the scenes as well as featured on the project. And I mean, some people are familiar with, but some people you kind of introduced us to, and they are some amazing singers. Like, I mean, we've always known Ashley from the time that we've been following you on Periscope. You and Ashley are like two peas in a pod. So we've always been a fan of Ashley. And there's another one that is on one of the songs. Oh, what's her name? Chris? I don't want to say her name.
Kirsten, actually. I call her Kirsten, but her name is Kirsten.
Yes, she is amazing. And then, of course, Precious. I was surprised that you were able to get Precious.
Yeah.
And Precious,
hey, listen.
Retiring.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I just called her and told her, you know, hey, listen, I got this song. And actually, the song that Precious did was not originally on the album. It actually didn't make the album until about maybe 3 or 4 days before we recorded it.
Wow. She did the thing. I was so excited to hear her singing. I was like, I'm so glad you did it, because she's always been telling us, like, you know, you trying to, you know, I'm not gonna sing anymore, guys. I'm not gonna sing anymore. I stopped singing. I'm like, the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. So
believe it or not, Precious was actually really nervous in the studio. I was shocked. But her and Ashley Ashley, she won't tell nobody that it was nerves, but she was very nervous. Precious was very, very nervous. So it took some doing, but we definitely got it done.
Yeah, they did it. They sang their hearts out. Like we couldn't tell. So y'all are watching. We could not tell y'all were nervous at all, none whatsoever. So all glory to God for that. And then y'all, Kenny sang.
I did. I did.
After all these years, we've been asking Kenny sing, Kenny sing. No, he wasn't singing, but he sang on his project.
And it's probably gonna be the last time.
No.
one and done.
No, that's no, we're not doing that. We're not doing last time.
Last time.
Now you gotta sing again. Yeah. Give us another song.
Let's see. I'm actually starting to work on my second project.
What?
Yeah. So I'm just concepting out some stuff, but under my deal, I got a 2-year deal, and I got to put out two records.
Distribution deal with Indie Blue.
Yeah, through E1. Yep.
Yeah. Oh. This is major. Did you ever think, like, back before this all started, that you would be here?
You know, honestly, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it confidently. Yes. And I'll tell you why. The thing is this: the process don't never look like what is gonna end up to become. So, but you always, you know, people, it's nothing to me is by happenstance. It's if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. And if you you know, people tell you preparation meets opportunity and opportunity equals success, but I think what happens is, while preparing, you have to be focused and knowing that what the end goal is, and not looking at the end goal, just knowing that that's going to be the end result.
Right.
And so the end goal don't never look like a straight path. It always is a bumpy road, a couple left turns, detours. But you know, you gotta be confident in knowing what the end result needs to be, you know? And so to answer the question, yeah, I knew it. And it's so crazy when the distro deal happened after the record was done. So just a little backstory, we went to the studio knowing that the record had to be done before there was a deal on the table. Right. Yeah. So that's the process and preparation. The opportunity came when they wanted to hear the music. And when I talked to my rep, I told him, I said, hey, listen, I know this. I said, it's gonna sound arrogant. I said, and you know, at this point, I don't care. I know that this is this can hang with some of the best gospel music that's out there.
And it can.
And, you know, he was like, well, okay, you know, I hear this all the time. And he gave me this speech that was like, hey, you know, we'll listen to it. It's gonna be a couple weeks. We were really busy, and just in case it don't work out, this ain't the end of the road. I said it's gonna work. And literally, he called me back. What should have took a couple weeks, he called me back in a day and was like, "Wait, so who produced this?" I said, "I did."
Come on.
So how you get all these people? I said, "Well, but the thing was."
You supposed to say because I'm Kenny Matthews.
No. That I actually wasn't that cocky at the time. I had a goal in mind, so I couldn't be that way. But the thing was, I saw him repping for someone else at their release that did really, really well, Kira Daffin. And I didn't know him at the time. And I'm not that guy, so I didn't even try to pursue him then.
Right.
I just called around and asked some homies. They were like, "Hey, yo, I need to get in contact with somebody who's giving out distro deals." And it just so happened to come around in a circle that he was the same guy.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I knew it was once I got done, I knew it was gonna be it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can appreciate about you. You have, you sit down and you set out what you want to do and you follow that. And you may get some bumps in the roads and all that stuff and some hiccups along the way. But you stick to the core plan, and you pull this thing off. I mean, I was like, do it. Like, yes. It was awesome.
And I mean, that was the plan. The plan was, I knew some of this stuff I started working on in 2015, and just to know that I started working on that stuff, I could see it. I knew what it was going to be, but I learned this watching HGTV. They said never show a buyer an unfinished house because they'll never see what the architect is seeing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that was one of those things where I knew what it was, and I was trying to pitch songs to. Matter of fact, Faithful God came 2016. Faithful God came. I was on Periscope, and I don't know who really remember it. Shayna Wilson sang it. Dayana sang it. Yes. Naomi, she sang it. And
remember that.
And so I was literally sitting in the living room, and it was one of those things where, I had to remember where in the moments of like, low is lows, you got to remember that God was still faithful. And that's where that song literally came from. And then I linked up with one of my homies. He helped me pen the verse. And then we took it from there, and just the song became what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was one of the first, but the very first song on the record that became the title cut was No ID. Yeah. And that song I created 2015 with no lyrics, but the whole song, the way you hear it from intro to ending, was how I heard it.
Yeah, I remember the music, and I was like, I remember you saying, I need somebody to, have a writing session and put it together. Like the whole way of you saying no ID, like you're not saying NOID, you're saying KNOW ID. So what was the reasoning behind you spelling it out that way opposed to?
So it literally, when I saved it in my sessions, I saved it as NOID. So No ID literally was the name of it, because I knew the song. I'm like, this song gonna be lit, but I don't have no lyrics. I don't know where the song gonna go. And when I finally connected with the right people, Randall and Carrington, we sat down and started writing. And we played on the fact that the words should have been somewhere with, no ID. And then so they asked me, what did I see? And I was like, I told him, I was like, he knows who we are. Like, and I came up with the whole this is where we need to put this. Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. All our, sins and griefs he bear. Because he knows us.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And so that's how we got to the KNOW. Yeah. So it got crazy.
Yeah.
It got crazy.
You got there's some songs on there, you have Vertical, and I love songs that, talk about that have a way that you have to kind of listen to it in order to see what it means. Because when you hear Vertical, you don't really kind of know what it means or what direction it would go. But to say, you're sending your praise vertical, it means, it's going.
Yeah, nah. Hey, I'm finna tell you. So when Randall sent me that song, he said, "Bro, I got this song." He was like, "But you got to listen to it. It's vertical." And the first thing that I thought was, "This is trash." And we talked about it. I said, "Let me sit with it for a couple of days." And he was like, "Okay." And so it didn't sound nothing like what it was. Yeah. So when I sat with it for a couple of days, the first thing that I thought was exactly what you said. Vertical means straight up.
Yeah.
And like, how we gonna make this make sense? And I'm like, but okay, I can figure it out. And literally, Randall sent me a memo with him beatboxing on it. I'm like, what, bro? This is
beatbox, Randall.
I was like, this is whack, but okay, even more of a challenge. Let's do it. And so then what ended up happening was, when you think about it, in old church, they say when the praises go up, blessings come down. Vertical praises up. You put them two and two together. But then I think, like I told people, one of the best contributions to that song, I was in the studio and I was like, y'all, I was talking to my background singers. They really did not like the song. And they laughed. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm not paying y'all to like a song. I'm paying y'all to sing background.
Right.
And you know what? I don't even know if I don't know if I made it up to them, because at the time I probably was really broke. But I know for a fact when we finally got to it, I was like, hey y'all, I need to add something to the song. So I'm sitting in my homie's apartment, and we recording in his apartment. I'm like, I need to add this, and it's da 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 da. And when we did it, they was like, oh, that's so. Then the thing was, my homie, his daughter was there, and she at the time had to been like 1, maybe, I think. Mm-hmm. And literally a couple days later, she was da, 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 da. I said, it's a hit. Watch it, it's a hit.
When a child sings it, it's a rap. Yeah.
It's over with.
How you know. And
so at that point, I knew it was something. I knew that was gonna be something. And it literally that was that. It got crazy. And so Vertical, that's what Vertical did. Vertical was dope.
Man, I love those types of I appreciate, lyrics, and I also appreciate the process. Collaboration, what you have to have a certain trust, with collaborating with someone, because you give them something and then it's like, all right, let's take it a different direction, and they have to trust you in order to make the song, bring it to its best, its greatest potential, what it could really be. So I mean, you are the Flip My Houses of songs. Is that what you're gonna call it?
Hey, listen, I guess you're right. I'm the Property Brothers.
Flip My Houses of songs, because I mean, you flipped the song. You flipped Be Grateful, and tell you, that song, your take on that. I mean, every time we hear it, when you play it for us, we're like, oh, we want to be able to download that song. You're like, yeah, I gotta go through some stuff before I can get y'all that. But I mean, you flip songs. You flip songs.
So with Be Grateful, again, Be Grateful, one of them songs where I heard it and we caught a vibe. And the more and more I hear it, I catch vibes. But Be Grateful actually got shot down by and I'm not afraid to say it because it's okay now. Uh, I was on Clubhouse earlier this year, in January, and I was like, Kevin Bond, who used to play for the Hawkins at one point or another. I was like, hey man, I want to play something for you and just tell me what you think about it. And he didn't like it, but I'm gonna tell you the piece that came with understanding that he didn't like it, and I didn't take offense to him not liking it.
Right.
What I learned in that moment was that, you know, when you think about food, everybody likes certain things certain ways,
Right.
you know. And so when he started talking about like the author and the composer and the original way of it being done, and you know, I looked at how many times, you know, there's an Isley Brothers song that's been flipped 50, 60 times. There's a DeBarge song that was flipped so many times and just kept turning over. And the thing is, interpretation is everything. And so my thing was, you gotta take the meat and spit out the bone, you know. And so when he said it, I said, okay, cool. What could I have done better? What do I need to do to it? And how can I add my own spill on it? Because I still like the vibe of the song.
Yeah.
So then when we got into the rehearsal for Actually Be Grateful was not going to even be on the session. But and it still didn't make, it's gonna make the next record because I got clearance now. Yeah. But we did it at the live release and it got crazy.
Yes. Now that live release, man, I said, you know, Kenny knows how to pull out the stops. Like he just, y'all want to know how to do things like top notch. Look at the way Kenny moves, because him and some other artists that I follow, I mean, y'all inspire me so much that like when I release my little project, I want to do one too.
Oh, listen, first of all, let me tell you, don't ever diminish your stuff. It ain't little. It's gotta be. And you know, and I gotta tell you,
we gonna put our stuff on it. We gonna do it.
But I gotta tell you why you gotta put your stamp on it, because I also figured out something. One of the reasons why I really wanted to do this interview was because I wanted to explain something that I'm learning as a indie artist. Like literally, there is no room for arrogance. You just have to be so confident because the game is so tight right now. Yeah. And it's discouraging. Like, I literally knew that this music needed to be in the world. I knew that it had what it took, because I didn't create it. You know, musicians create music as a musician, and it started to sound busy and a bunch of twists and turns and a bunch of, you know, whatever. But I created this music as a consumer. It's tasteful, but it's still simple enough for a 2-year-old to catch on and not be dizzy by the creativity of a musician. Right. And so, but then I started learning that there are so many lanes that you got to cross as an indie artist, and it's almost like baffling, like to figure out how to get your music on iTunes. Then after you get it distributed to iTunes, that's the end of that, because you got to figure out how to get it on radio. And radio and iTunes is two different things. Then you got to figure out promotion and promoters. Then you got to make sure that it's being promoted the right way. Right. And so try not to make, you know, mistakes that's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. And want to believe that you're working with everybody who say that they don't do what they're supposed to do. It's definitely one of those things where, as an indie artist, you got to be confident. So I went to a radio promoter, and I'm currently working with him. But when he called me, I'm so confident, not because I'm Kenny Matthews or because all that's out the window. Right. But you're not gonna call me and hear nothing less than my music is just as good as what's in the top 30 or the top 10 or the top 3. Yeah. And billboards, BDS, whatever. you gonna hear this music and you gonna get this music.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so when I told him that, he was like, he laughed. He said, well, we can tell you confident. I said, no, I ain't confident. I said, I just know I did what I was supposed to do. And you're going to get this music. And then when he heard the music, he turned around and said, all right, so you was right. Yeah, I know. Now I'm confident.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's, and that's one thing that I'm learning. And I say this, a lot of people may not know, but I will always, and when my mom saw the flyer that I was going to be interviewing you, she was like, this is like full circle because isn't Kenny the first person you sang for? I'm like, yeah, he's the reason why y'all even know that I have a voice because I took a chance and that one night called on called his FaceTime with Singers Lounge, and it wasn't even Singers Lounge. It was just
Singers Club.
Yeah, it had like, you know, ventured off into that, and it's like this huge thing. I mean, Kenny became an overnight sensation on Periscope literally in like less than 24 hours.
Literally.
It was crazy. Like you didn't know who he was, and then all of a sudden you were saying his name. And he's like the first person that, you know, I just took a chance and called, and like he didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't know him from a can of paint. And I just sang. And one thing you have to, as an independent artist, you have to be comfortable in the lane that you're in, because there are a ton of lanes. This is not just a 4-lane highway and you pick which lane you're gonna be on. There are a bazillion lanes, and there may be a couple of people in the lane that you're in, but you still have to be you just have to own your own and hold your own and not try to deviate and be like somebody else, because originality is unique to you. And so as an independent artist, like trying to make my way out here, it's crazy because, you know, I, on the other hand, would have never thought that I would be an independent artist. I know it was something that I always loved doing. I love to sing. I sing in church all the time. But to say, yeah, I'm going to be an independent artist, I'm going to, you know, release music and all that stuff, I didn't see that. So I watch people like Kenny and oh my gosh, so many people, Chris, Mike, Mookstar. Like these are some amazing independent artists out here that are doing it, not just regular, like they're doing top-notch stuff. And that's one thing as an independent artist. Just because you're independent does not mean your stuff has to sound independent, does not mean the way you present has to look independent.
Yes.
You can be just right there, your sound and everything. Who mixed and mastered your project?
So I went to Chicago and I went to CRC, and Matthew, he did my stuff, and we became, I knew my music was good when I was sitting in there, and the engineer who has mixed for her, he showed us his resume and we walked through the big I was really like, I was first of all, let me say this, who you connected to matter. Okay. Because who you're connected to is going to change the trajectory of how you move. So I knew that this year I needed to get the record done, right? And so at the time I said, okay, I had just came off of trying to overcome about 7 or 8 deaths in my family back to back last year.
Yeah.
Because if you remember my first time on the Hill.
Yeah, your aunt had passed away.
My auntie had passed away, who was one of my biggest inspiration. Hold on one second.
All right.
Are they cutting our grass? Okay. I'm sorry.
You're right.
So what ends up happening is my aunt passed away, who she raised me. She was her and her twin sister, they raised me, and they were the one who passed away. She's the reason why I play piano. The other one was the reason why I was playing drums, or why I took interest in music, period. And so, you know, it was one of those things where I really was thrown off because my creativity was stifled by being emotionally drained from going to a funeral what felt like every weekend last summer.
Yeah.
So then, again, who you connected to matter, and so when you get connected to the right people, they will push and pull something out of you, pause, that will get you to a place to where you gonna be, to the point.
Right.
So I was literally in the car with my current fiance. And
come on, current fiance. Congratulations. Go ahead.
Right. We got 14 days at this point, 15. And so she was like, so what's stopping you? I was like, I'm just not motivated right now. She was like, all right, cool. Well, that's not an option.
Right.
That's not it. So let's get it done. And I'm like, yeah, it don't work like that. It's like, and I remember this conversation vividly because we was either coming from the airport or going to the airport. She was like, yeah, it don't work like that. She was like, so you definitely need to get motivated and don't cut the corners. So we figured out a game plan and literally was just like, okay, I'm not gonna cut no corners. I'm gonna go do it the right way. So I ended up going to mainstream studios, and the name of the studio actually was called Chicago Recording Company, where the biggest artists, I was doing a session and Chance the Rapper was downstairs. They wouldn't let me in my session because because Chance bodyguards was standing at the door. I'm like, my name on the door, so y'all can move out. Oh, we sorry.
Right. I'm Kenny Matthews. That's when you.
Yeah, I had one of those moments, but who you connected to matter because, again, you want to be connected to the people that's gonna push you to do it. And so I went to CRC, and when I called them, I was actually going to go to another studio to get her done. And in the process of calling the studio that I wanted to go to, they wasn't available, or they was COVID protocols, wasn't answering the phone or wasn't working in the building, something like that. So then the next studio that came up was CRC, but then everybody who I seen, it was like a 5-star studio. I'm like, oh, crazy, this crazy. So called in, found out what their rates was, and I wasn't afraid of what the rates was. The rates was crazy. But then what I found out was I wasn't just paying for studio time and a studio block. I was paying for whatever I needed to get done in a certain amount of time. They had the resources and the people available to do it.
That's what you need.
And so where you try to find, and they was all accredited. They all had their, the guy who mixed and mastered my stuff has Grammys and all type of awards for mixing and engineering and all that. And he was honest with me, like, hey man, listen, this is what I can do. This is what I know. And so when I started working with him, it was like, oh wow, So his name was Matt. He came through and it was amazing.
Wow. As an independent artist, I just want y'all to be encouraged, but you have to know you have to invest in yourself. You want the top stuff, save up them dollars and get the top stuff because you deserve it. And your money matters, your money matters. And so make sure that when you're putting your money out, you're putting it out once and for all. You don't have to keep putting it out. Amen. Because you want to make sure that your stuff is, right there. You want it to be 100. That's definitely, and take your time. Don't like lose your motivation. I mean, I've lost it a couple times, but
Absolutely.
Stay the course, even when you get discouraged, just stay the course and know that sometimes delays are not because it's not going to happen, but the delay is preparing you for the actual connection that you need. So maybe the connection that you're trying to establish is not the connection that is needed for that particular assignment. And so it's going to be delayed, because when the right connection comes along, then everything runs smoothly. So yeah, this is, you know, really informative. I'm so happy for you. Your project is amazing. It is one of those projects that you can sit and listen to and literally not skip a song. And so,
And you know what's crazy? I be still skipping songs.
but it's your stuff.
I kept it simple, but I be skipping songs.
It's your stuff. You gonna skip songs. I mean, but I sat there, I listened to it. I think I listened to it twice before I realized I had listened to it twice. I was like, oh, come through. I listened to this whole thing, because that's one of the major things, you know, when you release a project, you want to release it, and you don't want to just be, it's really more so quality, you know, over quantity. And so if y'all follow Kenny, y'all know Kenny can play. Like he can, that boy, something wrong with his
God is good. I've retired from playing, but yes.
Boy, you better stop talking about something you retired from playing. We're not hearing it.
No, I have. Honestly.
But we don't want to hear that though. We don't want to hear.
No, it's okay. I've retired. I'm only focused on the artistry standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is like not even secondary right now. I don't.
Are you producing other artists? Like if
No. So, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
So again, so now ask me the question again so I could give you the unadulterated answer.
All right. Are you producing other artists? So if someone wanted you to produce a song for them, they brought a song to you and they want you to produce it for them and they release it. Are you doing that?
No.
All
right. So, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
Once I finally started digging into once I started digging into what it costs to do a song, and then once you get a certain standard, like now I can't go back and try to do anything less. So I'm gonna be honest, by the time I finished my album, the amount of money that was put into it, I never thought I would ever put into a record. And so roughly, and there's no boasting, no bragging, but one song cost thousands of dollars, like that, you know. And so what I've learned is this: my last experience working with somebody just turned out to be bad, because again, if I come to you, thank God that I've been blessed. 2020 was a fairly good year for me, but 2021, God has really just like blessed me above measures, or beyond measures. And so now I'm at a place to where I know what it takes, and knowing that it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm not playing that pity pat game with artists that I once played before, thinking that, hey, listen, you know, to do a song, I mean, just to get horns on a record, it was $1,500 for just a horn arrangement.
I'm telling you.
And so imagine that the band alone for live instrumentation was, for one song, the band instrumentation was almost $3,500 to $4,000 on, and that's for people I knew and me playing keys and all that other stuff. Right. And then, so what I'm learning is that everybody ain't able, and there are other producers who have different methods, but the method that I'm choosing to go, and the route that I'm choosing to take, I just rather not deal with it right now.
Yeah, it's a real thing, Saints, because It is, especially if you want a live sound. See, I'm a live sounding kind of person as well. So what you want to do is you really want to save your, I mean, you can still get the same experience with the what is it, the computer sounding instrumentation. You could still get that, but sometimes it's nothing like the live sound. So, you know, it is really expensive, and it can be. But if you have great supporters, Amy, you get yourself some great supporters, and, you know, take your time and save up and do these things. These things can definitely happen. So, you know, just stay the course, independent artists. You know, you see that it is able to be done. It is doable. So just be encouraged, because you can do it too. Just don't rush yourself. That's another thing. I'm learning that, not to rush myself, because you want to, like I said, you want to put out quality, and you want to be able to take your time and make sure that it's done in excellence. For me, I'm trying to learn how to listen to what's coming back to me, you know, like the concepts that I get back.
Yeah.
I'm learning to listen. I try to learn to listen with unexcited ears, because as a songwriter, I'm I'm not a creative in the music sense. So I don't create my own music. I write the lyrics, and I have the melody. And then when I finally hear music being married to it, it is something for me that just like, so then I get so excited that I'm like, it's great, it's great. You know,
Yeah.
like, no, listen again. You know, maybe listen again, take some more time and listen again. You know, maybe some more nuances and stuff that you might want to change or tweak or something like that along the way. So, you know, I'm trying to learn to to do that. And I'd be so excited because I hear music, like, yes, this music, great, perfect, let's move. But really take my time. And so, you know, I appreciate you, Kenny, taking this time out to come in and chop it up with me about your project. Because, you know, I've been following, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy to see. You know, I was watching your live release party, and y'all went ham on Bad Day Good God. I mean, Clarence Xavier, he just, Lord, y'all went.
Yeah, that was the highlight of the night. That was the highlight song of the night. But you know
That
what? Bad Day Good God was always a fan favorite, and it was my favorite. It was the first single. And it's a timeless song, you know, because you're
literally
gonna always have days where you know that you need God.
right.
Be good, please be good on days.
Yes, you go.
And especially with what's going on in the world, you know, like the world is really it's really shaping up to be all the stuff that our grandparents used, them last and evil days.
Oh yes, we are in them. Perilous times have come.
I thought we was gonna have time, you know what I'm saying? But we
no time.
The time is now.
Yes, it is. Yep, this is the time. I just said it on live earlier. I was like, Jesus is three doors down. He's in the neighborhood, saints.
Definitely in the neighborhood.
Oh God. Like,
yeah.
And there is no time. Like, I mean, every time you go outside, you need to just look up and see if you see the sky starting to peel a little bit, because that's the time that we are living in. So yeah, this is the time. So do what you can, do it now. And you know, just stay the course. You know, Kenny is not producing anybody, but I'm sure, you know, if I hit him up, he'll give me some advice.
Oh, listen, I got advice for days. You can hit me up. I tell you what I've learned. I tell you the mistakes I've made. But I'm telling you, the only reason why I'm currently not producing anybody, because I know now what it costs, and it's not for sale. And I also know what it's like dealing with. I've had a couple experiences with people who had their ideas, and when your budget is limited, you know, you try to give an idea that can like trying to be cost efficient, but it don't work like you don't go to Gucci and tell Gucci how much money you got. You
Right.
go, you get the amount of money that you need, and then you go to Gucci.
Gucci.
And when I said that, what I'm saying is it does not go on sale. I'm not saying that I am Gucci of producers. I'm saying that that quality don't go on sale.
Right.
And that's why it don't go on sale. They don't, you never see Gucci with a 30% off sale.
No.
You
Or
never see Louis, yeah, or Christian Louis Vuitton, or any of the major designers. You don't see them. You know why? Because at the end of the day, they know what it takes to get the quality. And so what I've learned is in my younger in my zealousness to want to help people and to be like, hey, we can do this. And then it's not giving what it's supposed to give, because I'm like, hey, yo, listen, I'm not going to compromise a live sound for some VSTs to make this. And then, they want you to overproduce and try to give them something that's not going to
sound, but they don't have, like, you got to have and see, one thing I need y'all to understand about me as an individual, period, but especially as an artist, I'm always about wanting to know how much something is going to be. Why? Because I'm not trying to ask for a discount. I just want to know how much it is, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go somewhere in my corner and I'm going to save that up. Like you said, I'm not going to go to Gucci and say how much I can get Gucci. I'm going to go to Gucci and be like, here your money, now give me the product.
exactly.
That's just how I operate. And when I know, when you want a certain sound, do what it is to have that sound, and just don't look for a handout. Some people may be a blessing, but don't go into it looking for that as if that is something that is that you're entitled to receive. Not everybody is going to do that. They're not going to quote you a price like that just because it's going to fit your budget. You're just going to have to expand your budget, point blank, period.
Absolutely. And the last thing that I wanted to add to that was the thing that I knew going into the music industry is people will literally do anything to get where they got to go. And so we don't even have to dig into that rabbit hole or whatever. One thing I knew I was not going to do was compromise on my non-negotiables. I was not doing this. I was not doing that. I do not need to shake hands and be in the presence of people who I don't agree with what they got going on, how they moving about it. Right. And I said that as a general statement with an attack to nobody. I'm saying I knew the things that I was not going to compromise on.
Absolutely.
And if, in fact, to be a part of any musical industry, I had to compromise standards, morals, or just what I'd stood for, chances are I probably wasn't going to do it.
Right.
So I knew with that being said, I wasn't going to do it. And so until I got what I needed, and I needed it to be a certain way, I didn't try to, and you'll be amazed at the propositions and the compromises that people throw and people take.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that strange for a piece of change. And I'm not getting stuck for a buck.
You better come on, strange for a piece of change and stuck for a buck. Somebody write that down, because I'm trying to tell you, because they will do it. They will kind of sprinkle some things out there. It's like a get rich quick or get famous quick type of thing. But at what cost?
Exactly.
What does it profit a man if he would gain the whole world and lose his soul? So, be very watchful out here, because there are, these people are sly. So you want to make sure that you are not prostituting the gift that God gave you for the sake of having something in return. So, y'all hear that Kenny he's real deal. He is, not gonna compromise. He's not
at
gonna get
all.
stuck for a buck, and he ain't gonna do strange for a piece of change. So y'all make sure y'all get his project No ID, the single Bad Day Good God. But now the single for the project is Imagine.
Yes.
And that's featuring DeAndre Patterson.
Yes.
And it has why did his name escape me on the organ? What's the boy?
Jaden Arnold.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that boy is a wonder.
So here's a fun fact. Jaden cut Oregon, but I had to recut Oregon. Yeah, so wait, you're muted.
I'm trying to go fast.
Oh.
You gotta pay to listen to your song.
Okay.
we have to play to pay. You know, we gotta. This is on YouTube.
Oh! I got you. Hey, listen.
Play.
You were saying something.
Yeah, I was like, oh, all right, and then I was trying to pull it up.
So Jaden cut Oregon on it, and then when I got to the studio, I had to recut some spots because just the way it was originally recorded. But it was all good. It's still Jaden playing.
Yes. So this is Imagine on the No ID. I want y'all to go and get this project. Don't just download it and stream it. But if you have the desire to buy it now. Buy it now. All right, let me make this full screen. I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can see, so y'all know exactly what to go and get. And this this photo though, Kenny, like you better look to the hills from where your help come from.
There's a reason I was looking up.
Come on, was it going vertical?
Nah, because I didn't want to have a lazy eye. That's all.
Kenny, you...
I'm just trying to tell you what the Lord loves. That's the truth.
I was like, this way is going vertical, y'all. You looking to the hills where help come from. I'm just being all deep. You're like, nah. You just got my good side. All right, here we go, y'all. Imagine. Take it away, DeAndre Patterson.
Can you imagine the kind of praise that will take place when we get to heaven? Just imagine the celebration that will take place when we get to heaven. We're gonna celebrate. We'll be giving God a praise, singing comes. The saints of God, they gather together to see him up in glory.
Oh my God, they gonna gather together.
Writing
See him up in glow. Told y'all, Kenny put his foot in this project. If y'all want to know what Kenny Foot sound like, listen to this project because he put his foot.
That was churchy. I just wanted to make sure people understood I still knew church.
Cause you be Kenny crazy, y'all. Kenny ain't got no sense. That's what I'm saying. Kenny ain't got not near lick of sense. Not ain't got no spare change, ain't got a buck either. But I just that song right now. He went in. He went in on this project, and I cannot wait to hear the next one. So y'all make sure y'all go out and get No ID. Y'all done heard it here first. And Kenny now is getting ready to get marred in 15 days.
In 15 days,
oh my
I will be officially joined as one with somebody else. That's gonna be different.
That is gonna be different because that's
gonna be different.
Like, oh my gosh, Kenny's a merman. He's a
you also know I am a resident of the East Coast now.
Oh, wait a minute. You
I'm
are a
in the
resident of
DMV.
what?
Yeah,
Kenny, you only 4 hours away from me now.
pretty much.
I'm in New York.
Yeah, I'm at the bottom. I'm close to the Carolina, so I'm probably.
I'll be all up in there. That you in my area.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down in the bottom of the DMV.
Yeah. All right, so you got to give us your Cash App so that those of us who have known you for a long periodically of time, we can send because I want to send something as a congratulatory on your nuptials, because even though we've never met, I feel like I've known you we have known each other for a long time.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna tell you, once you you got to call me off of here and I tell you another story.
All right.
But so you know what I just want everybody to do? I just want everybody to just keep downloading and stream my record. That's how y'all can support.
Yeah. And share it. Tell your friends to go and get it too. This is why we do these things, so that y'all can see the people, hear the people, know the people behind this stuff. These are some real dope people. Kenny is let me be great. LMVG, let me be great. And so
also, I think I'm finna revisit.
Are you?
I think I'm about to revisit.
Oh, we got it.
And this time, I ain't got no roadblock.
Woo! It's a wrap. Oh, it's a wrap. Y'all stay tuned. Kenny just trying to tell y'all stay tuned. He's saying y'all ain't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning, huh? Amen.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah. All right. So thank you, Kenny, for this time that you have spent with me. I appreciate it. You're a real one. You're a real one. You are indeed a champion in my eyes. You are.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Listen, anytime. And I'm telling you, whatever you need, I'm telling you, I'm here. And I am supporting you 100%. I love your project. I don't just ask anybody to come on because they just have something out. I literally support the people that I asked to come on. And Kenny and I go back like 4 flat tires. And so I absolutely had to ask him to come on. And I'm so glad he accepted my invitation. It makes somebody like me feels really good. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, y'all. Until next time, whenever that is. Y'all be blessed, be a blessing. Don't just go to church, as they say, be the church. So anyway, y'all go and be healed. Amen. Heal somebody as you're going along. Even if it's just a smile, a hug, or a prayer. Do whatever you need to do. All right. Signing out. Good night.